welcome to my channel. I'm Matilda. I love lifestyle content, I love fashion, I love wellness, I love travel. And so my channel is a representation of that, but I also really enjoy inspiration inspirational content. And I think this video is exactly that. I want to share why at 28, one, I'm living at home, but also decided to change careers and really offer some sort of maybe inspiration but also hope to others who may be 28 or older or even younger, who may feel as if they don't have what they need to have at this particular age. And so yeah, life has been lifing in good ways and in not so great ways. But I think what I've realized at this tender age of 28 is that my journey is just mine, and that I currently am not supposed to have what I think I should have. I have exactly what it is that I need, right? And I've also realized that everything has happened to bring me to this point where I'm learning so much about myself living at home. it it's a lot living at home, especially if you're African. You already know how that goes. And I have been really sort of ruminating on quite a bit recently on like moving out and finding my own space. But if you live in Toronto, if you live anywhere in the world, you know how crazy the market is, the housing market is right now. And I think about if I had moved out earlier, right? And found my own space, how right now I would be in some trouble. I would have a hard time trying to um really make ends meet. Being 28 and living at home, societally, it's seen as a failure because this is the age where I'm supposed to have the house, the car, the career, the relationship, whatever it may look like. And I don't have that, right? In some areas, like currently I'm really thriving, but I don't have all of those things simultaneously, and it can be deemed as a failure. But the thing that I've learned is that my journey is just mine. Like, I don't feel like a failure. I feel as if, you know, some days I feel like let me keep it all the way real. Some days I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, right? And then some days I'm like, I'm ready to like have all those things. I'm ready to like to move out. I'm ready for my career to soar, and I'm ready for all those things. But I also sometimes have to do some really deep reflective thinking and realize that I may not be ready for all those things simultaneously. And I think if I had all those things, I would probably be overwhelmed, and that there's a lot of growth that needs to happen on my end in order to make sure that when I get all these things, that I'm able to care for it in a way where I'm yeah, I'm able to care for it, and I'm not being irresponsible with all these things that I've been praying for, right? And so I recently heard somebody talk about, like, are we ready for the things that we pray for? And sometimes you really got to be honest with yourself and say, right now, I don't think so. I don't think I'm ready for all the things I've been praying for. But am I working towards getting ready so that when I have the place, that the car, the flourishing career, the flourishing relationship, that I'm able to care for it and really nurture it in a way that I would not kill it or I would not destroy it? No, I'm not in that place yet. And I think sometimes it's just so hard with social media to really see our journey as it's just hard with social media to really not see our journey as our own, because when you see people like really thriving in your career, or it's really hard to not think about yourself as a failure. But I think for me, I've really moved away from seeing myself as a failure. I am now seeing myself as somebody who's just on their own journey, right? And I think moving away from that space of like, why isn't this happening for me? I'm really able to live from a place of abundance, because I think I'm able to see other people flourishing and see that that too can happen for me. I think when you're in a space where you're constantly thinking about like, why isn't this happening for me? Why isn't this happening for me? It can really I don't want to say change your perspective, but that's the only thing that comes to the forefront. It could really impact the ways in which we show up for other people, whether that those people are in our lives or whether they're on the internet or whatever the case may be, because we're constantly in this space of scarcity, instead of instead of seeing ourselves in a place, instead of seeing things from a place of abundance, right? Like now I could see somebody thriving and say, I'm really happy that they're thriving. I could also see this happening for me as well. I hope that really makes sense. And so I no longer see myself as a failure. I see myself as somebody who's just on their journey. And it's also really difficult, which brings me to my second point, to not see yourself as a failure when people are constantly asking you, like, when are you going to do this? When are you not going to do this? When is this going to happen for you? Like, especially if you're African, if you have all these aunties asking you, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? When is this? When is that? When is that? When is that? When is all these things going to, like, when are you going to do these things? And I'm like, it will happen when it happen. I do not subscribe to this idea that I need to be married at 28 and popping out babies. To be quite honest, if I had a child right now, I wouldn't know what to do with it, because I'm in a state of selfishness and I want my time for myself. So why would you pressure me to have a kid? Because I want to be a selfish mom. Like, at some point, when I decide to be a parent, I want to be the best parent possible. And when you constantly have, I think, especially in the African community, because we're constantly being pressured to get married and have kids and do all these things, you have people rushing into getting married and they're unhappy, right? Marriage is not what they thought it would be. And for some people, it works out really well, right? It could go either way. But for me, I want to do things when they are right for me to do, right? When it's the right time for me to do certain things. And no African auntie is going to pressure me into getting married. Oh, hell no. You're not going to pressure me to get married and have children because I'm 28. I truly believe that when things are going to happen for me, they're going to happen for me. And in the past 2 years, one thing I realized is that when it's time for something to happen and it happens, the the abundance that comes with it, right? It's just mind blowing. I'll give you an example, right? The job that I'm currently working at, prior to that, I was working a job that I really hated, gave me anxiety all the time. And then I decided, okay, clearly this career is not for me, right? I pivoted, I went into a different career. And now, because I know in this space, in this time, I'm supposed to be doing this, and I'm in a space or an I'm in an organization that really allows me to thrive, right? That really allows me to do what it is I'm really passionate about. And because of that, I've seen the abundance in other areas of my life. Because this thing right here is happening when it's supposed to happen. This thing is, I'm not rushing into anything because everything is just falling into place. And that's what I mean. Like when we do things when things are supposed to happen, it just makes everything else fall into place. And so at 28, realizing that in the past 2 years has also made me acknowledge that, again, like, this is my journey, and again, that things happen when they're supposed to happen, and when they happen, when they happen when they're supposed to happen, like, everything else falls into place, everything else multiplies as a result of that, because I'm in a job, right, that I really like and I'm passionate about, and I enjoy the people that I work with, right, I'm not leaving work depleted. Well, I'm tired because I had a long work day, but I have energy to get to other things because I'm not anxious about my job. I'm not feeling emotionally depleted from my job. I'm not in any way being drained in that aspect. I'm drained because there's a lot of work and there's a lot to do, but that comes with any job. But emotionally and mentally, I'm not exhausted because because my job is taking that away from me. Does that make sense? I really hope that makes sense. And so that's why I choose to look at living at home and changing careers at 26, or at 28 is, look at me changing changing my age. Eh, God. That's why I choose to look at living at home at 28 differently. Do I wish that I had my own space? And in that aspect, listen, yes, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I wish I had my own apartment. I wish I had my own space to call my own, because sometimes living with family, yeah, yeah, I wish I had my own space. But I know right now I'm supposed to be here because I'm just supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here so I could save and move out when the time is right comfortably. I'm supposed to be here because living at home has afforded me the ability to travel, right? Like, if I lived on my own, I would have to budget, right? Especially, I would have to budget my salary in a way where, like, I wouldn't be able to travel as much as I am able to currently. At home has its perks, right? I have a dad who is willing to do anything and everything for me. Um, so I think, I'm really grateful for that because I have the support of my family. Do I always enjoy living at home? No. How many times have I said that already? Probably lots of times. But the thing is, I see the perks of living at home, but I also want my own space. That's just the real of it. Third and last point, I realize is that I am great at pivoting. When something no longer serves me, I am able to pivot because, and I think there's two things, because I know that I can move. Like, when I decided that I was going to change careers, I was, I knew that I could come home and live at home while I figure out how to find a job, or figure out finding a job. I knew that I had the support of my dad and my siblings. I knew that I had support of my friends. Um, and so, because I have this really great foundation and structure supporting me, I have been able to pivot in my career multiple times because I know that, one, I have a great support system. But sometimes you just gotta be, sometimes being humble. And what I mean by humble is like living at home with family, saving money, taking the job that does not pay much, but in the end will have will pay in dividends, is far more important than trying, in the age of social media, trying to look like I have it all. Realized recently is that I'm able to pivot. And because I'm able to pivot, I am not scared of the unknown. Sometimes I am, but most of the time I'm not fearful because I have support, but also because I want the best for myself. in this life, when God calls me home, I want to say I have done everything that I want to do. I have done my passion projects. I have lived in purpose. I have loved people. I have cared for people. I have shown up for people. I have shown up for myself. I have cared for myself. I have loved. I have lost. I have done it all. And I think, when I think about my journey of changing careers and living at home at this age that apparently I'm supposed to have everything that comes with being this age, I've chosen to look at it from a different perspective. I've chosen to look at it from a space of like pivot, right? That I'm able to change careers. I'm able to switch. I moved from one city back home. I moved not across the country, but I moved to a whole different country, realized that that wasn't for me, came back home. I've seen, I've just chosen myself time and time again, and living at home and changing careers symbolizes that for me, that I've chosen myself time and time again, even when the circumstances do not look so great, right? Right now, living at home, I know changing careers in the next 2 years, 3 years is going to pay off in dividends, in interest. We will have compounding interest. Like, it will pay off so greatly. My hope to you, whoever is watching, whoever feels as if like they're behind, is to really figure out like, what is your long-term goal, right? What is that for you? And how is currently, whether it's living at home, whether it's living in a place where you don't necessarily want to be in, whether it's like you're starting at like anew in your career, like, how is this current uncomfortable situation, how's it going to pay off in dividends? And I think for me, that's what I had to realize, like, how is this going to pay off in the next year, 2 years, and 3 years, me being uncomfortable in, like, living at home. I'm not uncomfortable living at home, it's just like, but you know what I mean. Anyways, how is that going to pay off for you in the long run? But also, like, really reworking the idea of like, I'm a failure, to like, this is you pivoting. This is you showing up for yourself, right? Like, right now, I'm choosing to sacrifice. I'm choosing to sacrifice for the long-term good. Really, my hope to you is that you rework this idea of failure. You rework this idea of uncomfortability, to think about your long-term goals, to think about how this is going to pay off in dividends for you in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, however many years. My hope to you is that this video inspired you to really rethink the ways in which we think about what we're supposed to have, because society says we're supposed to have these things at, whether it's at 25, 28, 31, 32, 33, 34, whatever. And that life is constantly changing, right? And just because today is not looking good does not mean tomorrow it's not going to be looking good either. Thank you for watching. Hope is that you're able to take something from it, and I hope it resonates with you, and that you rethink how you see your situation. You sort of use this time to organize how it is that you're going to show up for yourself in the next year or two, and how you could use your current circumstance to your leverage, right? For watching, I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are on the video down below. I would love for us to have a discussion in the comments. Is there something you didn't agree or disagree with? Let me know, because I love having these sort of conversations. I don't know everything, because I'm constantly learning, but my hope is that somebody watching this takes something away from this where it could really help you. So yeah, thank you for watching. Peace. See you in the next video.